In ancient times, one evening amidst a thunderstorm, ShenLi, the Blue King of Heaven, defied the Spirit Master to escape an unwanted marriage. Despite the efforts of many heavenly guards to capture her, ShenLi created a hole in the heavens and fled. Mo Fang, seeing ShenLi struggling, devised a plan, injuring himself to ensure ShenLi's safe escape. The heavenly pursuers misunderstood the situation, thinking Mo Fang had killed ShenLi, and assumed that ShenLi's descent to the mortal realm would bring misfortune. In Qingsheng City, the heavenly pursuers tracked ShenLi based on where he landed. Injured and weakened, ShenLi, a distressed phoenix, was in dire straits. A rude farmer captured her. The next morning, Xingyun went to the market and saw ShenLi for sale in a bamboo basket. He bought ShenLi and took her home. Stripped of his spiritual powers and mistaken for a pheasant, ShenLi endured various indignities. Xingyun forced her to bathe in a pond and eat pastries, which, despite initial reluctance, ShenLi found tolerable. Xingyun called ShenLi, K-Da, and instructed her to look after the house in his absence. ShenLi attempted to escape but was thwarted by a little thief entering the house. The thief, a snail girl, planned to cook ShenLi, tying her up in preparation. Xingyun returned just in time to save ShenLi. After warning the snail girl not to return, Xingyun went back to his tasks, and ShenLi grudgingly stayed, realizing Xingyun was quite dull. ShenLi decided to flee but couldn't fly due to her weakened state. Xingyun offered food, and ShenLi, unable to resist, stayed for the meal. Over time, ShenLi and Xingyun settled into a peaceful routine. One night, as ShenLi slept peacefully under the moonlight, Xingyun, finishing his painting, walked out to check on her. Seeing ShenLi asleep, Xingyun gently blocked the moonlight to ensure her comfort. Eventually, ShenLi attempted to escape again, but this time she was captured and nearly cooked by locals who mistook her for an exotic pheasant. Drenched by a sudden rain, ShenLi was overwhelmed with frustration, thinking about the forced marriage awaiting her in heaven. Just then, Xingyun appeared with an umbrella, shielding ShenLi from the rain. Xingyun has showing unexpected kindness, brought ShenLi back home once more. ShenLi returned to the courtyard and noticed that her wounds seemed to heal faster there. Xingyun fed her regularly and could understand her say. One day, Xingyun brought her homemade osmanthus cakes. But ShenLi had grown tired of them. She suggested buying some meat to improve her meals. Xingyun, with a calm demeanor, explained that he was short of money and that he still needed to trade the cleaned ginseng for medicinal herbs at the pharmacy. Hearing this, ShenLi felt sympathy. Because her benefactor was short on money, she decided to repay his kindness. Late at night, under the moonlight, ShenLi tried to use her magic to turn stones into gold. She made several attempts, pecking at the stones with her beak, but she was unsuccessful. Exhausted, she eventually collapsed and fell asleep. The next morning, Xingyun decided to spend some money on meat. As he prepared to leave, ShenLi noticed he wasn't carrying his usual bamboo basket and reminded him to bring it. Xingyun explained that he was going to the market, and since ShenLi was bored, he took her along. At the market, ShenLi couldn't resist the sight of fresh, succulent pork. Xingyun checked his pockets and found he didn't have enough money. To improve their situation, he took over a fortune-teller's business and provided a remarkably accurate reading, earning 2 pieces of meat and winning a 10-coin bet, a double win. After the delicious meal, ShenLi began to admire Xingyun's talents. She asked why he has such skills but spent time digging for ginseng in the mountains. Xingyun confessed that although he had some special insights from a young age, fortune-telling wasn't a respectable profession, and he was content with his simple life. ShenLi was astonished by Xingyun's choice, wondering why a mortal wouldn't pursue a more prosperous life. The following morning, as Xingyun opened the door, he heard urgent knocking. A peasant woman, excited and anxious, grabbed his sleeve and asked if he was the accurate fortune-teller from the day before. She begged him to divine the whereabouts of her husband, who had gone off to war. ShenLi realized that the woman's husband was in danger but knew that Xingyun couldn't reveal his whereabouts directly. Despite being moved, Xingyun insisted he couldn't locate the woman's husband. Watching the woman leave in despair, ShenLi felt a bit angry at Xingyun for not saying more. Perhaps Xingyun had discerned the truth but refrained from speaking for some reason. Late at night, ShenLi quietly went to the peasant woman's home, with Xingyun following discreetly. In the woman's cold, small house, ShenLi sensed an unusual aura from the woman's husband. 15 years earlier, the man had died heroically in battle and ascended to the celestial realm. However, unwilling to leave his wife, he had stayed by her side, protecting her silently. The woman, unaware of this, had been grieving for years. Xingyun used magic to reveal the husband's presence, reuniting him with his wife. Seeing the couple embrace and weep, ShenLi was deeply moved. She knew that mortals and immortals were not meant to be together. The husband's prolonged presence was draining his wife's vitality. Xingyun instructed ShenLi to quickly inform them that the spell wouldn't last long, urging them to make their choice. She learned that her husband had been with her for over 10 years. She burst into tears, clutching the man's hand tightly, and asked if it was true. The man, teary-eyed, remained silent. However, from Xingyun's words, they learned that if the husband continued to stay, it would shorten the woman's lifespan. The man immediately decided not to disturb his beloved any longer. ShenLi nodded, saying she could help him fulfill his wish. After deeply kissing his wife, the man resolutely declared that he would leave. ShenLi performed a spell to help the man return to Wangchuan. Then helped the farm woman up, advising her to live well because the man had always loved her and wanted her to live a better life. As ShenLi and Xingyun walked back, Xingyun noticed that ShenLi was no longer her usual lively and noisy self, guessing she was still affected by the recent events. He comforted her by saying, "The past is an illusion. Only the future is real life," encouraging her to cherish the present. Just as ShenLi's mood began to improve, Xingyun accidentally slipped and fell into the water. ShenLi, unable to ignore it, immediately jumped in to save him. Xingyun expected ShenLi to lift him gently from the water, but instead, she grabbed him by the hair and dragged him out, even pulling out a tuft of his hair. Seeing that Xingyun was unharmed, ShenLi left, but Xingyun quickly transformed her into a phoenix, indicating she had not fully recovered yet. So, ShenLi had no choice but to follow Xingyun back home again. The scene of Xingyun turning ShenLi from a beauty into a bird was witnessed by the farmwoman's brother. Greedy for wealth, he hurried to report ShenLi's various magical abilities to the local authorities, claiming to have seen everything with his own eyes. To investigate, the city lord immediately sent people to bring Xingyun in for questioning. When a large group of armed guards arrived at the door, Xingyun knew they had ill intentions. He immediately set up an array, transforming ShenLi back to her original form, and then beat the guards so badly they wished they could flee underground. ShenLi realized that Xingyun had been toying with her all along. From the very first night, she had revealed her true form, but Xingyun had suppressed her and even saw her drenched like a wet chicken. What a humiliation. In her anger, ShenLi struck Xingyun with her palm, only to see the supposedly robust Xingyun fall weakly to the ground, claiming she had broken his arm. Having just driven away a group of villains, ShenLi felt it was inappropriate that she had now injured her benefactor's arm. Hesitant, she decided to stay a while longer until Xingyun's arm healed. ShenLi curiously lifted his chin, wondering how a man could be so good at acting helpless. Xingyun mischievously smiled, saying that although ShenLi was a woman, she was strong and sunny, making them perfectly complementary. Seeing Xingyun's fawning face, ShenLi grew increasingly suspicious of his identity. Xingyun was proficient in arrays, could predict the future, and lived a carefree life yet never missed a meal. He could understand bird language and saw through her true form, completely different from ordinary people. She decided she must find out his background, suspecting he might be a celestial guard sent to track her. In the prince's mansion of Qingsheng City, the prince learned from his servants that Xingyun possessed great magical powers, and the maid by his side could break their bronze tokens with her bare hands. Naturally, he dared not underestimate them and immediately abandoned any thoughts of capturing them. Since ShenLi descended to the mortal world, Mo Fang had followed closely behind. But after searching for a long time, he still couldn't find her. ShenLi couldn't figure out Xingyun's identity, so she decided to snoop through his notes while he was asleep. She found mostly records of weather changes and plant growth, thinking him a rather boring person. Just as she was about to put the notebook down, she noticed Xingyun sitting right across from her. Having caught her in the act, It was quite an embarrassing moment. ShenLi pretended to be calm, claiming she was just putting a leaf back into the book. ShenLi still hadn't figured out Xingyun's true identity but felt he was also a pitiable person. He had no stable income, spending his days painting, enjoying the moon, and occasionally daydreaming. ShenLi decided to stay until his health fully recovered before leaving. She began learning to cook. Surprisingly, Xingyun often acted as if he owned the place, casually instructing ShenLi to cook and add firewood. Sometimes, ShenLi would impatiently remind him that she wasn't his servant. However, when Xingyun would gently call her for meals, ShenLi, "Dinner is ready," the tenderness in his voice moved her. She had always been addressed as "my lord," consulted on military matters or healing, but now, someone was calling her to eat, making her feel delicate and cared for. The young master of the city finally couldn't hold back his impatience and urgently wanted a divination to see if he had a chance to become the city lord. He barged into Xingyun's courtyard with a group of guards, demanding a reading. Xingyun, having seen many such scenes, refused to comply. The young master began to use force, and ShenLi, hearing the commotion inside, came out and gave the young master and his lackeys a thorough beating. The young master fled in panic with his entourage, and the courtyard fell silent again. ShenLi turned to see Xingyun sitting there like a bullied child, covering his eyes with a cloth because the young master had splashed hot water on him, scalding his eyes. ShenLi was puzzled by how such a frail man could remain so calm in the face of a bully. That evening, Xingyun was fanning the medicine while ShenLi noticed the scars on her hands from daily chores. Xingyun, feeling inexplicably sorry for her, insisted on applying some ointment to her wounds. It was the first time a man had shown such concern for her, and ShenLi felt quite touched. The young master, having gained nothing, immediately ordered his men to summon Fusong. Upon hearing the details, Fusong reassured him not to worry, promising that they would soon make the Taoist suffer. Knowing that life would not be easy after the conflict with the young master, Xingyun decided to seek help from someone else and took ShenLi to the Jiulu manor at dawn. The young master, whose real name was Jiulu Chengrai, was arrogant and overbearing since childhood. Spoiled by his father after his mother's death, his younger brother is Jiulu Chengjin, more stable in temperament. With the position of young city lord still undecided, both factions were eager to take power. Xingyun seized this opportunity to seek Jiulu Chengjin as a patron. At the Jiulu manor, ShenLi discovered a lotus demon, a stunningly beautiful creature. ShenLi initially intended to capture her, but seeing how much Jiulu Chengjin valued the demon, even personally picking her up when her dress was damaged, she refrained. Xingyun, noticing ShenLi's interest in Jiulu Chengjin, jealously warned her not to develop feelings for him. During the negotiation, it seemed Jiulu Chengjin had already trusted Xingyun. As they left, Xingyun proudly shook his money bag, excitedly proclaiming they wouldn't have to worry about meat for a long time. Xingyun's braised pork was delicious, but ShenLi knew it was time for her to leave. Staying in the mortal world would only bring trouble to Xingyun, as those from the heavenly realm were still searching for her and would likely find them soon. The lotus spirit once helped Jiulu Chengjin clean his room and accidentally triggered a mechanism that opened a secret chamber. Curious, she entered and found a woman lying on the bed looking strikingly similar. A demon-like figure laughed and revealed that this woman was the one Jiulu Chengjin truly loved, showing the lotus spirit stories of their past together. Late at night, a group of men in black stormed into ShenLi's courtyard. Fortunately, Xingyun had prepared in advance, and those who fell into the courtyard were trapped and tortured by an array. Their screams echoed as Xingyun calmly sipped tea inside. ShenLi, hearing the noise, stepped outside and saw the array at work. She accidentally stepped into it, becoming disoriented, but Xingyun arrived just in time to help her regain her senses. Unwilling to admit defeat, Jiulu Chengrui's men shot flaming arrows into the courtyard, trying to burn it down. With ShenLi's protection, Xingyun was unharmed, but the assassins trapped in the array suffered greatly. ShenLi, not wanting the courtyard to be tainted with blood, flew into the air and used an array to extinguish the flames. She then threw the assassins out of the courtyard, finally forcing them to retreat. ShenLi's use of the array exposed her location to the spiritual realm. In the palace, ShenLi's mother immediately dispatched people to find her based on the newly revealed location. Realizing they couldn't stay in the courtyard any longer, ShenLi took Xingyun to Jiulu mansion. She saw many incomplete spirits were kept there, visible as little glowing dots in the yard. Xingyun, being a mortal, couldn't see them. ShenLi warned Xingyun to be careful, but he naively thought she was scared and sweetly tried to hold her hand. Seeing Xingyun's innocent face, ShenLi realized he genuinely saw her as a woman. Enjoying this feeling, ShenLi moved closer to Xingyun and confessed under the moonlight that she might be falling for him. Xingyun remained calm, which made ShenLi uncomfortable. Suddenly, something unusual happened in the mansion. The spirits began to turn against their master, and women screamed throughout the courtyard. ShenLi told Xingyun to stay close to her and headed toward the source of the miasma. There, she found Xiaohe, Shi Yin, and Jiyu Chengjin. Xiaohe discovered she had been kept by Jiyu Chengjin to exchange her life for Shi Yin's. Xiaohe threw the mansion into chaos, and ShenLi tried to maintain control, hoping to persuade the lotus spirit to mend her ways. If the spirit continued to darken, ShenLi would have to eliminate her. While saving innocent mortals in the mansion, ShenLi encountered Mo Fang, who had found her first. He urged her to leave quickly, warning that the spiritual realm's soldiers would arrive soon. ShenLi glanced back at Xingyun and told Mo Fang that she had fallen for a mortal and wanted to stay a few more days. In the heavenly realm, one day equaled a year on Earth. Knowing Xingyun's frail condition, ShenLi asked Mo Fang to delay the spiritual realm's soldiers. Loyal to her, Mo Fang agreed. Xingyun suggested that Xiaohe might be hiding in the lotus pond. Knowing ShenLi planned to capture the spirit, Xingyun gifted her a hairpin made from a sleeve arrow. ShenLi called out the lotus spirit from the pond, and after several spankings, the spirit finally admitted her mistakes. She regretted causing harm to others because of Jiyu Chengjin. Originally, ShenLi had planned to eliminate the spirit if she didn't repent. But now there was no need for such drastic measures. The lotus spirit, with tears streaming down her face, still wants to see Jiyu Chengjin one last time, even though she knows he is only using her as a medicinal ingredient to save someone else. ShenLi tries to persuade her several times without success. Eventually, she agrees to let the lotus spirit see Jiyu Chengjin once more and also to see the woman she was so jealous of. ShenLi makes the lotus spirit invisible and tells Jiyu Chengjin that the lotus spirit is dead and that he should leave quickly. Jiyu Chengjin refuses to leave because the woman he loves is here, and he wants to die together with her if necessary. Hearing this, the lotus spirit is utterly devastated. In a moment of impulse, she grabs Jiyu Chengjin by the neck but can't bear to hurt him, the man she fell in love with at first sight. In the end, she sacrifices herself for her beloved. Shi Yin wakes up, and Jiyu Chengjin realizes that the lotus spirit made this possible. Xing Yun, who was just invaded by toxic miasma, has his wrist corroded and bruised. ShenLi takes him back to Jinyu's mansion and heals him with her powers. Seeing Xing Yun temporarily improving, ShenLi cannot stay long, as the pursuers from the spirit realm are relentlessly searching for her. If a battle breaks out near Xing Yun, his weak body won't be able to withstand it. The pursuers from the spirit realm soon arrive in great numbers. Mo Fang tries to delay them while ShenLi follows closely. She summons the local land deities to quickly save Xing Yun in Jinyu Mansion. ShenLi instructs the land deities to find the man in blue under the pavilion and to save him quickly. Unexpectedly, two unwelcome guests interrupt midway, Qing Yan and Kai Rong, both notorious troublemakers. They tell the land deities to deliver a message to ShenLi. If she doesn't come quickly, they will take Xing Yun hostage and can't guarantee his safety. With Xing Yun still in danger, ShenLi has no choice but to fly back to rescue him. ShenLi reaches Xing Yun, and Kai Rong and Qing Yan convey an edict from ShenLi's mother, urging her to return to her marriage. If she doesn't, they will force her back to the spirit realm even if it means breaking her limbs. ShenLi looks up to see the sky filled with pursuers, densely packed like ants. To protect Xing Yun, she cuts her palm and creates a strong barrier with her blood, shielding him within. ShenLi's mother is furious, accusing ShenLi of harming her clan and asking if she knows her crime. ShenLi responds calmly, stating that their spirit realm has been subordinate to the celestial realm for tens of thousands of years. Now, even her marriage is dictated by the celestial realm, and they are forced to guard the celestial realm's demons and monsters. Although ShenLi's words are true, her mother cannot accept them. She orders 2 celestial soldiers to immediately take the princess away. Hearing their conversation, Xingyun finally realizes that ShenLi is a princess. ShenLi turns back to Xingyun, helps him up, and gives him a heartfelt kiss. She tells him that she is being forced into marriage and that they may never meet again. She hopes he will live well. After speaking, she leaves. Watching ShenLi's graceful figure disappear, Xingyun is filled with sorrow. Before ShenLi ascends to the heavens, she infuses some of her spiritual power into Xingyun, hoping it will help him overcome his challenges. Upon returning to her mother, she is reprimanded for sacrificing 500 years of her cultivation for a mortal. Her mother argues that Xingyun might not even remember her in 10 years. ShenLi remains resolute and asserts that she is willing to do so. 500 years of power is a small price for love. In the days that follow, Xingyun lives in a small courtyard, surviving on memories of ShenLi. Regardless of the season, he stands in the courtyard reminiscing about her until he becomes an old man. Even in his last days, he walks with difficulty to the small river ShenLi loved, hoping to feel her presence.